Guys, welcome to another Power Ranger video. This time I'm just doing an overview of certain heroes, villains. Not sure if I'm going to do just a villain in this one, or a hero and a villain. Maybe I'll do both. But let's start off with Goldar, who I think is one of the strongest characters in the game. So Goldar, if you read his effects, it says the first time you play a block during each of your turns, target foe gains 1 stun. So Goldar likes to pretty much flood the opponent with stun cards. So if we look at Goldar's master card, we'll see you can discard 3 cards from your hand to block, negate an attack. So Goldar is all about trying to block as much attacks as possible, fill you up with stuns so you can't really fight back. And then when you empower him, that is when Goldar can attack. And now over here it says deal 3 damage for each block attached to your character. So before you go empowered, before you go buying this, which you can at any time, you want to first attach some blocks on Goldar, because the first time you play a block, and every time Goldar is in danger of getting hit, or you can play it from your hand, you can have these attached. So you can play it from there, from your character, or you can play it from your hand. So each time you play a block, your opponent gains 1 stun. So the best cards to have on Goldar, if you're going to empower him, you want to have anything that has blocks on it. And the best cards to purchase from the grid for if you're playing as Goldar is Dodge, Radbug, Parry. Let's see what else we got here. Dragon Shield. And these are just some of the blocks, guys. And you want to get King Sphinx. You want to get Super Putty Patroller. I'm not sure if I forgot any blocks. I think these are the ones so far. But these are just block cards you can play from your hand thus far. And if I forgot any, I apologize. But these are the ones that you want to play from your hand. These are the top 6 cards you want to go. So if you see Super Putty Patrol, you want to get it, because this is the cheapest block that you can equip on Goldar. So you want to go after this one to gain attack, heal 2. If you have 10 or 0 HP, discard this card. So keep this card in your hand, attached to Goldar if you can as well, because Goldar does have one purple slot, so you want to fill that up with potentially him. If you have King Sphinx, even better. Then you got the blue sides. Goldar has 2 blue slots. First one being Parry, negate an attack, draw 1 card, then discard this card. You can play it from your hand. Remember, every time you're playing, it doesn't say once per turn. Every time you play a block card, just remember, your opponent is gaining. And it doesn't mean you're using it for shards. It actually means you're using the effect block. So every time you do that, you're flooding your opponent with stun cards. And stun cards are the worst. You don't want to have that. So when you do power up, and let's say your character looks something like this. I'm just doing some random stuff now. And let's just put Dodge here. And let's say you have him with the master up here. So your character looks something like that. Parry, King Sphinx is your ally. You have Dodge. And you have your master attached. So let's say your character looks something like this. And your opponent decides to attack you. So let's say you use King Sphinx to block. You give your opponent negate an attack, draw 1 card, and the attacker gains 1 stun. So there you go. Now you just gave your opponent another stun. So you discard that. And then if you want, let's say you draw this one next. Now you can attach this card. And now if you want, destroy 1 card in your hand or discard pile. Attack damage deals the sharp value. So let's say you had like Rat Bug in the grave or something in your discard pile, you can deal 5 damage. Let's say you used Dodge. Gain attack, draw 2 cards, and discard this card. Now you got 2 cards in your hand. And now you can, if you want, you can equip Heavy Attack. So there's another card you want to purchase. So deal damage equal to the highest cost card in the grid. So there's another good card. So these are cards that I recommend that you should buy. I'm going to lay them out for you guys. I'm going to go from cheapest to the most expensive. Dragon Shield. Knockout Blow, because it gains 1 stun. So any card, I'm not sure if I've forgotten it again, any card that gains 1 stun or gives the opponent 1 stun, you want to get it because you want to flood your opponents with stun. When you play with Goldar, that is the mission. Flood your opponent with stuns. Then we have the weakest villain. This one blocks. Get this one if you see it. Now we're going to 4s. Oh, sorry. We're still in 3s. You can get Parry. Dodge is another good one for Goldar. We have... The reason I put this one, this is just an attack. It's not really essential. You don't really have to go for this one. The attacks are not really essential because remember, if you do empower Goldar, Goldar can deal damage for each block attached to your character. So he can deal a total of 6 damage. So that's not bad. But if you want to do extra damage, then you can attach Pudgy Pig on top because he will do extra damage. If you have a lot of energy, you can perform a great combo there. You can do 6, and then if you have more energy, so that'll be 6. And maybe if you find like a 5 on the grid, that'll be 11 damage in 1 turn, I believe. Am I counting right? No, not 11. Wait, so 4, 3, 6. Yeah, you'll do 11. If you find 5, you'll do 11 or lower. So Goldar is a heavy attack dealer. And you got heavy attack. There's just another way if you want to, there's not an attack. So if you do put this one on, you will only deal 3 damage. And then Rad Bug, you want to have it in your hand. So if you use it, Goldar will flood your opponent with stun. You can have this in your hand. Any of these you can have in your hand that has the little quick play effect here from your hand playing it. And obviously, you want to go for your master to get Goldar empowered. And one of the most important things, if you see the Blue Ranger, kill him at all costs, because if you kill the Blue Ranger, target foe gains 1 stun. So if you do see him on the grid, if you have the shards, go for it. Anything that gives stun will benefit Goldar. Anyways, guys, that was just a quick overview for Goldar. Maybe we should do a hero. So every time I'll do 1 hero, 1 villain. So let's go ahead and do 1 hero. And guys, I forgot to mention, actually, Goldar's card is Goldar's signature item is a block card. So this is a card you also want to get and purchase. I forgot to mention that. That's just a side note for Goldar. Anyways, let's move on to the Red Ranger, who's Goldar's arch rival. Alright, so let's go look over here. And his looks much bigger. We have Jason Lee Scott. And let's take a quick look at this. So Jason Lee Scott over here states, when you play or attach a hero, deal 1 damage. So Jason has 2 slots for heroes. Every time you play a hero, you deal 1 damage. Now when Jason morphs, it says deal 3 damage for each hero attached. So Jason's maximum for right now would be a 6 damage. Unless there's another card around here or something here that can do an extra damage or a character attached, we will see. Okay, so with that being said, guys, how would you play with Jason? In my own opinion, I'm doing this raw, guys. I didn't pre-plan none of this. I'm just going by what I see, and these are the ones that I gathered. So excuse me if I forgot anything. So with Jason, obviously, you want to go for the cheapest heroes on the grid at first. So that would be Zordon and Alpha, because they cost 2. So if you attach these 2, let's see. Zordon, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a hero or equipment, draw it. Otherwise, destroy it. So Zordon is good when you've purchased of quite a few heroes. So if you have multiple copies of Alpha, or maybe you were able to get 3 shards early, and now you got Trini, and you got Billy. These are just all hypotheticals. So these two are definitely good to have attached for the beginning. You can discard them later on. So these two you go for first. Then you go for, these are the next two that you can go for because they're the cheapest ones. You got Yellow Ranger and you got Billy, who's a great block if you need any block assistance. Then you'll upgrade to the Pink Ranger. And then you got Tommy, who's also a great block move. And good to draw a card or put an equipment from this card pile to your hand. And you got the Red Ranger himself. So if you equip yourself, this will deal 3 damage plus 1 damage for each hero in your discard pile. So with Jason, guys, I can't stress it enough. You would want to have this equipped. If you can have 2 of these equipped, that's even better. If you can have 2 copies of Jason equipped on each side, you would be overpowered. Because if you turn like this, and now you're dealing 3 damage, let's say you have all that energy to do that. That's 4, 8, 12. So 3 damage, 3 damage, and then you do this. Man, you're gonna deal 3, 6, 12, and we're not even counting what's in your discard pile if you have any heroes in your discard pile. So that's gonna be a very, very strong attack. So if you do clone the Jason cards on each side of the Red Ranger, you're gonna be very very powerful. Sorry, I'm just looking for the other Jason card, see if I can find it here. I don't believe there's any rules stating that you can only have one type of hero attached to your side. So you can attach red and red. If you want to go all offensive, I mean, if you don't care about defense, if you care about defense, you will get someone like the Green Ranger or the Blue Ranger. I lost him. There he is. You get one of these two because they will help you out in terms of blocking, and the Yellow Ranger will help you out with healing. So, I mean, you can mix them up as you go. But this right here, and then if you get your power sword, you can put it down here, you can put it down there. It depends if you want like equipment or an item, or I mean maneuver, excuse me. And if you have this, deal damage equal to the cost of a hero you control. So, guys, right here, control, I guess, would be when you play it for shards or something. So you play it, and then you deal 4 because you're controlling it. So you'll deal 4, not 4, excuse me. What does it say? The total, so the total cost, yeah. So you would deal 4. You play Tommy. Let's say you block an attack, and now you have him on the field. And now you use your attack. You'll deal 5, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm sorry, 10. And then you'll deal 3 more plus 1 for each hero. You're gonna deal some heavy, heavy damage with the Red Ranger, plus his sword, which deals 1 damage for each hero you control. So that goes with his power sword. Now, some cards that I would recommend, some strategies. For Babu, if you destroy him, you'll gain the top card of your main deck. Now, let's say before you do that, let's say he's on the grid, right? Let's say Babu's on the grid, and you have, where's that other card? Where did I put it? So let's say Babu is on the grid, and you have, for some reason, you have this card equipped. So now, if you use this effect, shuffle 1 hero or villain from the main deck, discard pile into the top 4 cards of the main deck. So if you can somehow calculate when that card is coming, and you use Babu, you can get whatever hero card was on top and draw it due to his effect after you destroy him. And that's a scenario that the stars have to align correctly for that to happen. Another good card for Jason is gain 1 non-adversary card from the grid, excuse me. So there's a good way to just quickly attach something onto Jason. Another one is attach a card in your discard pile to a matching empty slot to your card. So there's another way. If you use, say if you had Billy, for example, the Blue Ranger, and you used his block and it got negated, now you have this card, you use it, and you have it attached, you use it, and now you can get, I don't know, you can get Billy back, or you can get somebody else. So that's just some ideas of how you can play with Jason, the Red Ranger. So that was just a quick overview of both Goldar and the Red Ranger. Thank you for watching, guys. Take care.